Gridiron Grinder! Hut hut hike!
Okay, after much wavering back and forth and socializing, it is Gridiron Grinder time. So, hut hut hike. I'm Ryan. With me, as always, is my buddy James. Just a couple of dudes hanging out, talking about what's going on in the NFL each week. And so we're in that lovely, like, sort of off-season lull where sometimes it's kind of hard to find good things to talk about. And so for tonight, we're looking at an ESPN article. Let's see, from Aaron Schatz, and it's final NFL offseason moves for 32 teams. And so he's basically suggesting one thing that each team still needs to do to kind of complete their offseason, or one thing that should be a priority for them to do. And so we're just going to go through and kind of like, it's not even really a critique. It's just kind of like, do we like or dislike what he's saying? Is there maybe something bigger they could be thinking about? Or is it kind of like, there's really not much for them to do and it's not a big deal? And, I don't know. We're going to be doing a lot of him and Han tonight, right, James?
Yeah. And I'm going to talk about a different football for a minute because I just saw a fucking amazing play.
Okay. I thought you were going to go back to the injury, but yes, tell me about the play.
In the fucking World Cup. Dude, like, it's South Korea, Mexico, and okay. South Korea was about to score, and this dude from Mexico just did a fucking bicycle kick to keep the ball from going in the net.
Nice.
It was fucking like that far from going in the net. That takes some balls to do because you're liable to kick it just into your net if you don't hit it just right.
The football.
Yeah. But anyways, I'm not going to talk about the injury. That was fucking gross. Oh.
All right. So we're kind of going to be starting off with sort of a dud here, but we're just going to go through in the order they got. They got the AFC East Buffalo Bills first. This guy is basically saying their biggest priority now is to extend right guard Osiris Torrance. He talks about it, far from the best guard in the league, but he is above average in pass block win rate, blah, 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 blah. To me, it's like, okay, if that's your biggest priority, it means you're ready to roll for the regular season. And I don't think Osiris Torrance is like some dominant force that you necessarily need to do this. And so, like I said, I think that we're starting kind of on a dud where it's like, whatever.
I mean, but with the Buffalo Bills, like, so let me ask you this: if it's not that, what is it?
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, right? Is when I look at Buffalo's biggest need remaining, it's a defensive tackle, right? And but the problem is at this stage of the offseason, you go through the best remaining free agents, you're not finding a defensive tackle, and you're probably not trading for a defensive tackle because it's typically, there were some defensive tackle trades earlier in the offseason, but it's typically a thin position. And if you didn't address it in the draft or in free agency by now, you're just accepting that this is who you've got on your team and you're going to develop a guy. So I don't know that there's like some huge move for Buffalo to make now. I think it's just time to let it play out.
No, I 100% there. Like, I don't think there is that big a move for them to make. Maybe get another weapon, a wide receiver, but
yeah, bring Diggs back.
Isn't Diggs still in fucking?
No, he's a free agent.
Isn't he still in New England? Is he?
He's sitting out there. He's making comments about how he wouldn't mind if Washington called him. So I guess he grew up there.
Ooh.
So, all right, let's go on to Miami. This one's interesting. They say that they should be trading linebacker Jordan Brooks. And Jordan Brooks, if you're just sort of like a casual NFL fan, you may not know the name. But if you're like us, you know he is a pretty goddamn good linebacker. And the dude was a first-team All-Pro last season. But before that, he spent time, in Seattle, and he's solid, right? But I like what he's saying here in terms of trading him because Miami has more money going to people that aren't even on the team this year than they do on the team. They're not expected to be competitive, and this guy's contract's done after this next season. You might as well get something for him now, knowing that he's probably not going to want to stay in Miami because they're not going to be a competitor for a couple years potentially. I would make the move. The matter is just, where does it go? He says perhaps Cincinnati or Dallas. The team that stuck out for me as an option that's not on here is Jacksonville, who also needs a linebacker. I think any of those three. I think Cincinnati maybe is like the most obvious one because it's like, Burrow's called him out for the defense fucking holding him back. And minus, obviously Burrow getting hurt holding him back. But, you got to think that for that regime, if they don't do something big this year, they're blowing something up. And so Cincinnati probably at the top. I like Jacksonville just for the fact that they hit the scene hard last year, add this guy to them, and let him fucking run, man.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. That's just my 2 cents.
No, I agree. I get distracted, but
that's fine. Let's move on. Let's move on to New England, man. This one, I think you would agree, extending Christian Gonzalez top priority.
Yes, I 100% agree there. Christian Gonzalez, you continue to wait to sign him, he's going to get more expensive. He's going to have another phenomenal year, and they're going to be like, oh shit, now we have to pay you $5 million extra a year. If we would have tried to sign you last year, we would have had to pay you $5 million less, and we could spread that money around. I don't know. I'm a fucking idiot, and my name's Jerry Jones.
Yeah, I think for Christian Gonzalez, it's he's clearly, the best defensive player on the team, if not the best player on the team. Mm-hmm. And sometimes with cornerbacks, they're great with one coach and one system and not with another. I think he's one of those cornerbacks that's like a Jalen Ramsey type that can thrive anywhere you put him. And you don't want to let that guy go. You might as well lock him down now, and then you can work on addressing other things. Like, the Patriots, they still need help at edge. Maybe you go and kick the tires on freaking Kyle Van Noy, bring him back for another run or whatever. I don't know. But get Gonzalez locked down because he's basically your defensive franchise player.
Mm-hmm. He's basically your franchise player right now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Not just defensive,
because you got Drake May. He's still on the rookie deal, and you gotta lock this guy down, man. All right, so then the last team in the AFC East is the Jets, and this guy's saying sign defensive lineman Larry Ogunjobi. This one to me is kind of like a plain toast vanilla, okay. The Jets need a quarterback. They brought in Geno Smith. Cade Klubnik maybe is going to be the dark horse guy. They still got what's his face from last year. But it's like, really, like, what can the Jets do at this point to move the needle? I don't know, man.
See, I don't know if it moves the needle, but his logic in it makes complete sense. You're shoring up, getting depth at a position where they have older players that could get hurt easier.
Sure.
But is it going to move the needle? Is it a splash? Is it even that important? I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see it being I guess what I'm saying is I don't like it. I don't necessarily like aggressively dislike it. I just don't see it being a huge win. And so I'm not like thrilled with them needing to do that or really anything else at this stage. They got to get through this year and keep building, like they got to develop what they got. They got to keep drafting, keep going through free agency, but you know, one thing's not going to like shift things. All right, so with the AFC North, we got the Baltimore Ravens, and this guy is advocating or at least suggesting that they should extend Lamar Jackson. What are your thoughts on that, my man?
My thoughts are wait. Don't extend Lamar Jackson yet. Like
I'm
you had
with you.
commented to like he's coming into a new system, a new coach. He had Harbaugh the entire fucking time before. Let's see if he still can play. He's had a couple ho hum seasons. He's had a couple good seasons the last 4 years on this contract. Let's let's wait. Let's see. Let's make him prove it another year. You're going to pay him a ridiculous amount anyways if you fucking have to extend him.
Yeah,
Might as well make certain that that he's that player. And also Lamar Jackson's liable to get hurt. If he gets hurt, then you're going to get a little bit of a discount if you try to extend
that's
him then.
true. Yeah. Yeah, I think to me it's only in the team's benefit to wait, right? Because you got a new coach, new regime. The defense has been sucking the last couple of years. Lamar, like you're saying, has been a little bit streaky. He definitely has injury issues. To me, it's waited out, and
Uh-huh.
and it's not so much about Lamar. Some of it's just about the team. If you realize this year that the team is farther away from being able to compete than you thought, well, you don't want to be hamstrung with a guy like Lamar, where maybe you want that chess piece to say we're going to do something radical and blow this team up and go in a totally different direction. You're not going to be able to do that if you lock him down now. And
Yeah,
so,
I'm not knocking his logic because
yeah.
Lamar has an almost $85 million cap hit in 2027, not 26, 27.
So
You
you
have a
got time to
year.
work that out.
Yeah.
All right, Cincinnati signing Bobby Okereke, however you say his name. What do you think about that one? I mean, I think
Cincinnati,
you make the trade for Jordan Brooks and it's not an issue, right? But
I think Cincinnati needs to spend money on the defense.
yeah,
I don't know if Kirk, I like the fact that he's saying sign a defensive player. All of Cincinnati's money goes to offense. Put a
yeah.
little bit of money in that defense. Your offense, yeah, you're trying to win by scoring 80 points a game. There's
Which
going to
they
be
they
defenses
proved
that are
they proved when Burrow was healthy that even when they're scoring 35 points a game, they can't win the games because their defense is that much of a sieve.
exactly.
And looking at free agency, you got Joey Bosa hanging out there.
I wouldn't
You
sign
got
him.
Hassan Reddick. You
Maybe.
got Kyle Van Noy, and you got Jadeveon Clowney. Yeah, I'm not saying that these are all like go crazy for them, but for a team that's having so many issues on defense, I might throw darts at two of those guys and just
Mm-hmm.
see if they even give you some kind of rotational help, man. Because maybe Bosa's probably going to get some dough, but like Jadeveon Clowney, you're not paying a premium for him at this stage of his career, and he could be a great a great rotational defensive end for them, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got to deal with some of his weird bullshit, but I think the Bengals are in a do or die kind of season. All right, what do you think about the Browns extending safety Grant Delpit? He's good.
He's good. I was thinking about it. It makes sense because if he hits the open market, I don't think he'd re-sign with them. I think you try to lock it in while you have control over him.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, for me, I could go either way on this one, where it's he's going to be 29 in not this year, but for the 2027 season. So, kind of weird that he points that out this way, but he's talking about the contract and the cycle and whatever. But it's safeties can play into their 30s without an issue,
Well, the
and
reason he points out he's going to be 29 for the 2027 season is because his contract becomes void after this season. So you're
sure,
extending him past this season. So it would be starting in 2027. That's what makes sense. But I'll let you.
yeah.
I'll let you continue.
No, no, no. I guess where I was going with it is that, with them having moved on from Miles Garrett, I'm almost curious to see with a new head coach, because, Schwartz is gone. He's not running the defense anymore. I'm curious to see really how competitive is this team going to be and how competitive is this defense going to be. Because without Miles Garrett, that can actually change a shit ton, especially in the secondary. And so I would almost want to see that to confirm he is still a legit safety without having a guy like Miles Garrett putting pressure on the quarterback.
And that's logical too. But also they didn't get a. It's not like they got a scrub back in the trade.
No, you're right. You're right. They got Jared Verse, but same thing. I want to see Verse play and see him succeed in that system to know that all of these pieces still make sense. All right, what about Pittsburgh extending Joey Porter Jr.?
I like it. It's not sexy per se, but I think Joey Porter, the money he's going to expect if he hits free agency, he hasn't shown right now. So right now they'll probably get him at a lower price than if he has another good season, another top 10 season, up to the top 5 season for what he wants, and you'll have him locked down. I think Joey Porter has proved year in and year out he's a good cornerback. He's not top in the league, but he's not middle of the road either.
Yeah, I think because of the bloodline and the Pittsburgh connections, even if he's not top 5, top 10-ish, they're going to have to overpay him either way. And so the sooner you do that, the better.
Mm-hmm.
It's so I would go for it. Plus, I still think, like you're saying, he's young, he's been good, he's still getting better, right? So you can, if you're gonna spend the money on a guy like that, he's like a legacy guy, man. His dad played there. The fans are wanting him. It's like, just get it done. The sooner you get it done, the better it's going to be financially for you. So, all right, moving to the AFC South. Houston Texans, sign linebacker Shaq Thompson. What do you think about that?
They need to do something. They need to do something at linebacker. And this is kind of a depth because they lost speed. And
well, fucking A, maybe they're the fucking dark horse that needs to trade for fucking Jordan Brooks.
Yeah.
I mean, there would be no holes left on that defense.
Exactly. I think that's it. I think try to trade for Jordan Brooks. You can't get Brooks, then you try to get one of these free agents. And I think Shaq Thompson could be a good fit in that defense. I think but it's also though with EJ Speed, it's a matter of how long is he going to be out.
Yeah, and I don't think I guess, I think Houston's defense is going to be fine. I think that it's pointing to it makes us want to fixate on it. I think really the bigger issue for Houston is the offensive line, right? And this isn't a huge alternative, but it's almost like go out and fucking take your swing on Taylor Decker for a year because you know you need a tackle and you need bodies on that offensive line. Decker's obviously only going to be a left tackle, but can you bring him in and at least give you plenty of depth and the ability to rotate guys somewhere else on the line? I don't know. Their offensive line was such dog shit last year. I would just be like overly assertive with trying to address that right now because the defense is going to be fine even if they have 1, 2, 3 injuries, man.
Yeah, but their defense, the team didn't play that well last year, but the defense I wouldn't say was top tier last year. So
Dude,
I think
D'Amico Ryans is going to keep that defense top tier. All right, what do you think about the Colts? He's saying trade Anthony Richardson. Hey, I think
if the
sure.
Colts get somebody that wants to trade for Anthony Richardson,
yes,
fucking jump on that deal. Don't ask questions. Just say yes and let his ass fucking go.
Yeah,
happen.
That's my exact thing.
You're
not going to trade
Richardson
him
anywhere. You're not going to be able to trade him. So if somebody's offering to trade for him, fucking jump on it now.
Yeah, it doesn't. It's just not going to matter. Yeah, and then their biggest team needs defensive tackle, like we already talked about. That's hard to address at this point in the season or in the off season. I just think Indy's. Hey, there's no move to like or dislike. You just gotta keep rolling at this stage, man. You know, if anything, it's cut Anthony Richardson. Just let him go. Get him out of there. Get the drama out of there. Which honestly, I mean, you know what? If he changed the wording to release Anthony Richardson, I'd say, you know what, James? I like that idea because you're getting rid of a distraction in the quarterback room and you could go out and fucking sign fucking Jimmy Garoppolo and be fucking hedged if Daniel Jones with the Achilles isn't where it needs to be. I mean, fuck, dude. Wow, now I like that idea now that my fucking wheels are spinning here.
Yeah, and the thing with it is I think he should have said trade or cut Anthony Richardson. If you have an
and underline the cut part.
Have an opportunity to trade him, jump on it. Most likely, you're going to end up cutting him.
I mean, honestly, if you're going to trade him, it's like the only team that I think makes sense is fucking Miami. Put him with fucking Willis, and you have 2 running quarterbacks that probably aren't going to be able to do shit, but they're somewhat similar in nature.
So Willis can do stuff in spots, but
I actually have some hope that Willis can take the next step because he did show potential in Green Bay in spot duty. I'm just trying to like play matchmaker of, you know, you're not going to put fucking Anthony Richardson behind fucking Jared Goff.
Yeah. Oh shit, man! If the fucking Lions picked up Richardson, I'd pull the string and become a Chargers fan.
I'm just saying the concept, right? Like he could only go to a team like Baltimore where he's behind another run first quarterback kind of thing, right? And so, you know, and you know, maybe Buffalo, and that's why. Why would you? You know, you don't. If you're a good team, you don't need to bring in a guy like that, man.
Yeah, you don't need the distraction.
Yeah. All right, Jacksonville with extending Parker Washington at wide receiver.
I like it.
Oh, all right. Tell me why.
I think Parker Washington is an excellent wide receiver, I don't think Trevor Lawrence can replicate what he did last year. So by default, Parker Washington's numbers are going to go down.
Regress.
And he's going to regress, and he's not going to have a big season, which means that they're going to be able to get him cheaper.
Okay. See, I was going the other way. I was thinking, okay, Liam Cohen established himself. Trevor Lawrence played the part. If you believe in the Jacksonville narrative that things are moving in the right direction, you would want to lock this guy down now because he's still young and getting better, and he showed a shit ton of potential to be like a main guy in that 1-2 punch with Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, and I could see that, but history tells me Trevor Lawrence is going to have a down year this year.
Okay. Yeah, if you're a hater on Lawrence, I could see why you would not like that. And so I'm all right there. All right, Tennessee signing cornerback Kenny Moore II. I mean, that's a meh to me. Meh. I think Tennessee, they're another one of these teams that needs help on the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
You want to do everything you can to give Cam Ward time. Like if you look at the NFL top 100 of who's still left, you got Zeitler, who has, I guess Zeitler was in Tennessee, but he's probably not going to go back. No, dude, I don't know. This to me is just a meh. It's not exciting me in any way.
It's a very big meh. It's who cares?
Yeah, you're grasping for straws.
That's not where you want to go. You want to go offensive line, even if you think you have your starters in offensive line, get backups there.
Yeah. All right, Denver, extend safety Brandon Jones. I'm just trying to read through it because at first this is another kind of meh thing to me, but I also I wouldn't want to break up a good thing because Denver's defense was like so monumentally good last year. But the problem is that one of these years you're not going to be able to pay everybody. It's when do you start that? Do you start that now and ride them out? Or, I would probably ride them out the year and see where it goes. Because you have other guys that you're going to have to figure out where do they fit in the pecking order.
Yeah.
And he's a safety. I don't want to knock safety, but for most teams, safety is kind of a luxury position. It can be a pivotal position, but a lot of teams, it's lower on the priority list.
No, I agree. I think it's like the logic he puts forth kind of makes sense, but also some of these players, you don't want to pick them up on the high. You don't want to pay them on the high. And when you have a player that had a good season, a great season last year, you don't want to pay him on the great season. You want to pay him on a down year. If he has another year left, let him go into the season, at least going into the season. Don't do it in the off season. See how the season's going and then make a decision.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I think you wait on this one. And if need be, you make it a draft priority to get his replacement next year. Because you're not, like I said, you're not going to be able to fucking pay everybody. And so be cool. Just run your plan. Kansas City, signing Debo.
If it was
they haven't
last
given
year,
a shit about wide receivers since Tyreek Hill. Why would they care now?
If it was last year, maybe I could make an argument for it. Because the year before, they still won the Super Bowl, but they had the most drops. And Samuel is dependable. Yeah. Samuel generally catches the ball if it's thrown at him. But now he's even a year older. And you're coming off, and you don't know what Patrick Mahomes is going to be coming off the injury.
Yeah, my only thing where I could see it being a pro is, okay, you brought in Kenneth Walker at running back. Isaiah Pacheco's out. Walker historically has been in a committee. Maybe this works because Debo's one of those gadget guys that takes snaps out of the backfield. And so you don't have to necessarily worry about pissing off anybody with whose mouths you're feeding because Walker's already accustomed to that. And so there's going to be room there for Debo. But it's like, I don't know. I guess I'm just, to me, it's like I'm fading him in general because I don't see him being a game-changing wide receiver. And so it's, I'm just not getting excited about him, period, whether he went here or anywhere else.
Yeah.
And it's similar for the next one. This guy's saying the Raiders should sign Stephon Diggs. Why?
So I actually agree with it. Stephon Diggs was still dependable in New England last year.
I don't think he was. I think he had moments, but I don't think he was consistently dependable the whole year.
But who do they have at wide receiver? Who is Drake May throwing the ball to?
Well, he's got 2 tight ends.
That's it. That's all they have.
So you need someone for the rookie for when he comes in.
Exactly.
Do you really want it to be Stephon Diggs, who's I don't know, dude. I don't know. And there's there's nobody else at wide receiver, so it's him or Debo. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just not. I'm not. I think Diggs needs to go to a team where you have like a clear-cut, indisputable leader at quarterback, so that if he's out of line, somebody's gonna fucking shut him down. Because we saw him get bitchy in Buffalo, and he has a tendency to be like, you need to feed me, and I need me. And I just don't want that with a rookie quarterback, man.
Yeah. So we have 1 minute. Do you want to hit the Chargers, and then we'll do the NFC next?
Yeah.
All right.
Tuli
Chargers.
Loto, what do you think there?
I'd like it. I think it's
okay.
He's spot on there. Like, it's not sexy, but then you have Derwin James and Tupeluto locked up for a long time, and you can build the defense around him.
Yeah, and I mean, they let Bosa walk, and if he's this guy, he had 13 sacks last year. Why not, man? Why not lock him down? I'm good with you on that. They gotta fucking solidify that defense. All right, I'll talk to you in 10, and we'll go to the NFC, man.
All right, sounds good.
We're back with the NFC East Dallas Cowboys. Extend linebacker DeMarvion Overshown. What do you think about that action?
Depends.
He's had some injuries, right?
He's had injuries, and he has potential. And if you can extend him and get him cheaper, then it makes sense. And that's the thing with Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones always waits too long. A la CD Lamb, a la Dak Prescott, a la Zeke, a la what's his face?
Des Bryant, fucking everybody.
What's his face? Micah Parsons.
Yeah, I like it. I think I think that their newfound commitment to the defense and the running game is what they've been missing the entire Mike McCarthy era, and so you basically show that that's true, and it wasn't like a one-year wonder lip service thing by locking this guy down. All right, the Giants trading Thibodeau to Detroit. Yeah. I'd love to see him on one side and Hutch on the other, but I think part of it is you've got a lot of mouths to feed now at the edge position, and Thibodeau's been streaky, and so do you get rid of him and try and get something back, or what do you do with him?
So
I mean, I'd dangle him out there like New England and be like, hey, you want this guy? Make us an offer.
I think it's smart I don't think they're going to be able to re-sign him, and they kind of, if they keep him this year, like he says, they're kind of over a barrel and have to stay out of the free agency market because they won't get the comp picks if when he leaves. I think
it'd be tough to pay 3 edge guys big money.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like it if they could pull it off, but it's just not. Even a mediocre edge guy is getting big money. And so I think they're kind of forced to dangle him out there. I think it's kind of a bummer that, his work on the field wasn't more decisive going into last year, where it's like it kind of put him in the position where the Abdul Carter pick made sense, right? And it's like, it's almost like they were 1 year off on Thibodeau, where it could have maybe worked if they had more time. But they're here now, and that ship has sailed because, Brian Burns and Abdul Carter, that's the 1-2 punch for them.
If Abdul Carter gets his head out of his ass.
Well, then maybe it's or Abdul Carter. Trade Thibodeau or Abdul Carter.
But nobody's with his antics that showed up last year. You're going to get more for Thibodeau than you get for Carter, but you're taking a risk.
I mean, are you though? Because Thibodeau's got 1 year on the deal, so you're not going to be getting a shit ton for him. You're not getting a first-round pick for Thibodeau.
No, I know. I was saying that if you're putting all your eggs that Abdul Carter's going to get his head out of his ass, I think that's a risk. I'm not disagreeing. Trade Thibodeau, but
I mean, listen. So at one point, he makes a comment about, you could keep him this season. And then you're getting a compensatory pick when he leaves. Honestly, it's like, I don't even think that's a bad strategy.
But you missed the part where they basically have to stay out of the free agency market next year.
For an edge, you're saying, because they got to get the compensatory pick. What I'm getting at is that you might be able to get just as good or better of a compensatory pick for him than what you're going to get in trading him. You're just moving it up by a year by doing it now.
No, I know. I'm just saying that I think it's better to trade him than try to get the compensatory pick for him.
All right, I'm good with that. What do you think about the Philly thing? Extended Ojomo.
Meh.
I agree. It's a meh to me also. You got Jalen Carter, I don't know. I'm just not. And whatever happened to Jordan Davis or whatever his name was, did they let him walk? I don't even remember.
I think they did. Speaking of not letting people walk, what's his face in New Orleans?
He's still there. What's that?
What's his face?
Oh, yeah. Cam Jordan stayed in New Orleans for a year, yeah.
He stayed in the year, and he said this is his final year.
Yeah. All right, so Washington signed Tyreek Hill. Really?
Really?
I don't really know. This is going to sound weird, right? But I don't really know who the right wide receiver is for Jaden Daniels right now, because he had a great rookie year, and then with the injuries and everything, last year was like very fucking dicey. They still got Terry McLaurin. It's like, but who's going to be the perfect wide receiver for Jaden Daniels? Who's probably just always going to keep doing more, trying to make plays and getting out of the pocket. You need a wide receiver that's uniquely capable of, like, I don't know, almost like a Wan'Dale Robinson. I guess maybe Tyreek Hill does kind of fit some of that. I don't know at this stage of his career, though. I don't know. I'm not digging it.
and coming off the serious injury he had last
Yeah.
year. It's just I think this year Tyreek Hill, like, he's only going to sign a one year deal because he's going to want to prove that he is the same Tyreek Hill, and
Yeah.
therefore you're
But he's not.
wasting. But he's not, and you're wasting money signing
Yeah.
him because, like, to go to like Washington or that, he's going to ask for a shitload of money for the 1 year.
Yeah, and Debo didn't work. Do you really want to go back to like the veteran free agent well like that? I would wait and try to maybe draft a guy or whatever, and
Yeah,
or trade for a guy when you maybe get a better conviction on it. Don't go throwing a dart right now on Tyreek Hill. All right,
yeah, that's definitely not what they need, is to throw a dart on
go into the
anybody.
North with the Chicago Bears. He's saying sign Joey Bosa.
Eh, I'll let you talk. I gotta drop something.
I'm not opposed to it, to be honest. Bosa is unreliable from a health standpoint. He gets injured a lot, but Chicago all of a sudden did have a pretty glaring need at edge. And with them getting to the playoffs and working the magic they worked last year, it's almost like they're in a luxury spot where it's almost like it would look bad on them to not do this, because why wouldn't you try to address that hole when everything else is going right for the team and you have the ability to address that hole? To me, it's almost like, I don't know, they're like pigeonholed into doing it, whether they actually do it or not. Because if they don't do it and the defense looks like shit this year, they're going to be like, oh my God, the fan base is going to be like, we made the playoffs last year. All you had to do was get an edge guy. I don't know. It's weird, man. It's just, I don't know. To me, it's like, you like it or not, like, you should do it. But, I don't know that it's going to like reap the reward that people might think. It's just like, you need to do it for the face value of, does that make sense?
It does. I just don't like anybody signing Bosa, even though
Yeah, dude, his
I'm not
fucking brother
wishing.
said he might retire. So it's like, you know, where's his
I'm
head
not.
at right now? I don't know.
I'm not wishing injury on anybody. But if he were to sign with an NFC North team,
Yeah,
like,
you would
you get
want
what you
bad
pay
for him.
for. You would get what you pay for, and with Bosa, you're going to get an injury.
All right, so then for Detroit, it's interesting because they got an extend branch or Laporta, a variable kind of thing here. What do you think with Detroit? And we're obviously very close to Detroit. Makes it hard to sometimes see the bigger picture, see the forest from the trees. But you know,
So
there's been a
so
lot of talk about Detroit signing Bosa and giving Hutchinson a running mate, and so I don't know,
with
but
Branch, I like Branch as a player, but he frustrates the piss out of me every time he has a stupid DPI or a
yeah,
defensive holding penalty called on him because he's so fucking handsy. And that bugs me. But I think if he could get that out of his system and not do that, he could be an elite safety in the league.
yeah,
With
I like,
Laporta, my concern with Laporta, I would sign. I'd actually probably, if I had to pick right now, extend one of them or the other. I would extend Branch over Laporta because
okay,
Laporta's coming off back surgery, and you don't
and you
know what
want to
that's.
see how he does, yeah,
I want to see how he does, and worst case, I can use the franchise on Laporta to try to get an extension done.
gotcha, okay, yeah, I guess so. Maybe I got to calm down, but I was going to go the other way and say Laporta all the way. I've been hearing a lot of positive stuff about his health, but
Yeah.
yeah, you kind of want to see it on the field first, right? And the flip side of that is with Branch, I like his intensity, but he does kind of run his mouth sometimes, a little too much, and his intensity also has him sort of over pursue at times. That it's like I like him, but there's also things I don't like about him. With Laporta, it's like I just genuinely like everything that guy does when he's on the field. So, but like you're saying, can you reliably expect him to be on the field for the long haul? Maybe we got to wait and see.
Yeah.
I think the defensive end is still a big thing, right? So it's if you're going to focus on extending guys, yeah, those are the two you got to talk about. But they've still yet to find a suitable running mate for Hutchinson, and I think that is a very important thing that they need to do. Maybe the dude from Michigan that they drafted can step into that role. I don't know. I'm concerned that they're not paying enough attention to it because they early on with Campbell and Holmes got it right with the offensive line. You need to have a fucking stacked offensive line. They need to do the same thing on the defensive line. They have not done that yet.
Yeah, and it makes like because of how many players after this year they're gonna have to pay after this year, right? 23, 24, 25. Yeah.
Oh, they got to start hitting a lot of light out picks in the draft, man. Lights out.
Yeah, because they're even though we knocked them so fucking hard for their draft in 23, like Jack Campbell, who drafting.
Oh, Campbell's been amazing. Yeah, he made it, dude. He definitely. I was very hesitant on that because of the scouting reports had him a full round lower, but he has turned into be everything and more that they wanted from him.
Yeah, and I think that 23 draft was so phenomenal.
Yeah. Because you got Gibbs. Yep. You got
Gibbs, you got Laporte, you got Branch, and you have Jack Campbell.
Yeah.
Like they're gonna have to pay. They're gonna have to pay them, and unfortunately, they have to pay them all at the same time.
Yeah, I think Branch is going to get the axe. I think the priority is going to go elsewhere. I think the priority is going to go with Laporta too because of the way they run through the offense. But who knows? Who knows? All right, what do you think with Green Bay signing Jadeveon Clowney as an option? It's weird. I would rather see them go after fucking Kyle Van Noy, but Clowney's maybe more, maybe more of a traditional defensive end. I don't know.
Yeah, and this is where I'm kind of torn on it because like really for edge they're going to need whoever they sign really to let Parsons be able to get back.
Yeah,
and I think Clowney could be that person to bridge it to when Parsons gets back, and then can be rotational to spell other players, give other players a little bit of a rest.
That's true. Yeah, Clowney's not expecting to be the be-all, end-all at this stage of his career.
Where I think Van Noy, I don't know if Van Noy would accept that role.
That's a good question. I think he would, but that's just my personal opinion because he's always been kind of a tweener.
Mm-hmm.
But he's been a tweener for such a long time and keeps finding roles that probably in his mind he's thinking, hey, why wouldn't I do it? I'm just waiting for the call. All right, what do you think about Minnesota with the Hassan Reddick thing?
Wasn't he in Minnesota and then left?
No, wasn't it the Jets or something?
I
think that was the Jets. I think he was traded to the Jets. It was a messed up thing. He refused to play, and
that's right. Who am I thinking? I'm thinking of Daniel Hunter. That's who I'm thinking of.
Okay.
So
I don't think it's a bad pick to throw a dart at Hassan Reddick. I mean, you got Flores running the defense. Yeah, I think that there's hope with Kyler Murray that the offense is going to bounce back. And if the offense can bounce back, this could be a fucking top 5, top 10 defense again.
Mm-hmm.
So why not give it a piece, man?
No, when I was saying about it and looking at it, I confused Reddick with Daniel Hunter, and so that threw me momentarily. Looking at it with Hassan, knowing that it's not, he wasn't just there. I think he's kind of spot on how he would fit into the defense, and
Yeah.
he fit well into the defense. I don't think he's gonna, because of the season he came off a decent season, but not a stellar season, and he's not going to get the top dollar for it, and you're really looking for rotational players now.
Yeah.
So I think it's a, I don't like it because of the fact that it's Minnesota, but
it does make sense. It does make sense. If they were to pursue it. All right. NFC South, Atlanta Falcons extend Jesse Bates III. It's a man to me. I don't know. You got a new coach. You got a lot going on. I don't know. I think Bates is getting long in the tooth. I don't know. I don't know. I think this is a team where, I might be looking at a guy like Diggs or Debo to pair with Drake London. You're bringing in Stefanski. You're going to start doing play action stuff. Give whether it's Tebow or Penix Jr. 2 weapons. I mean, plus obviously Pitts, but give them the wide receivers, and you're expecting Diggs or Debo to be number 2 at this stage anyhow, man. I would much rather see that than extending the safety, but that's just my opinion, man.
So the thing with it is, and when I'm reading his reasoning, like I think it's something that's not a priority because Bates wants to be there.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, why go crazy when you know the guy wants to be there? You got leverage to do it on your time, yeah. And I just think, we talked about it. You got the new regime that let's make sure it fits. Let's make sure it fits. They did keep their defensive coordinator, and so I think that bodes well. But I would still want to see it replicated because Raheem Morris was a defensive-minded head coach, and so even though they kept the defensive coordinator, there are going to be changes.
Yeah.
All right, Carolina signing Daquan Jones. Yeah.
Here's the thing: they need defensive linemen, and that's where I like it. Does it move the needle? No, but they need defensive linemen. So I think that's where he's hitting with Daquan Jones.
Sure.
Could they get a better one? Possibly. Would they get a better one? Probably not.
If they're looking for someone on the inside, it'd be tough. Yeah. All right. I don't know. I don't like it or necessarily dislike it. I just don't think that there's a lot of good options for him. Saints extending Olave. I personally want to see another year out of him. I'm not convinced that he is. I'm not convinced that he's a number 1 yet. I think he had a great rookie year, and then he had injuries, and then he had a decent bounce back year. I just need to see more. And they also drafted Jordan Tyson in the first round, so it's kind of like, let him fight it out this year and see who ends up being the top dog, because that's who you want to put your money on.
I agree with you. I think signing or extending Olave he hasn't shown enough to deserve an extension. I don't even know if they would pick up the 5th round option on Olave yet.
Okay.
One more year before that. I think after this year they have to make that decision.
Yeah.
And because of that, if it's not even certain that you would pick up the 5th-year option, would you?
Yeah, so don't
No,
panic
never
and
mind.
do it
Never mind.
now. Yeah.
Never mind. This is the 5th year. This is the 5th year. This is the 5th year for Olave. Olave was drafted in 22, not 23.
See, that's why my brain is missed time with injury. He's been streaky. That's more reason why I say you got to wait and
Yeah.
let him play it out. All right, Tampa Bay extend Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
To me, this is like the biggest fucking no-brainer of the list.
It is, and as much as I don't like Baker Mayfield,
oh, I fucking love him. I think he's turned into a rugged, fucking capable quarterback that I don't know, man. I think that he's the real deal. Is he in the elite category? No, but he is a you know, the top tier somewhere. Like I think he belongs to get big money and be a franchise quarterback. I think it's fucking weird that Tampa Bay and him are so far apart on this. They need to lock his ass down, man. It's hard to find a franchise quarterback. He could be there for fucking 7, 8, however many years with how long quarterbacks play and keep them relevant for a long time if they locked his ass down.
No, I agree, and like I said, like I don't like Mayfield, but he is proven himself to be a franchise quarterback. And there's two types of teams in the league: those that have a quarterback and those that don't.
Yeah.
If you have a quarterback, you have so much more you can do win wise, playoff wise. Where if you don't have that quarterback and you don't want to have to start over at the quarterback position.
Yeah, don't risk it and fall into irrelevancy. All right, going to the NFC West, man, our last division here. Arizona trade edge rusher Josh Sweat. I mean, is it because they're just saying they're not going to contend that you should just start parsing off and thinking for the future?
I think it's because of what you can get back for him and what you need, and you need a lot of positions, so you could get back a lot of draft capital for him and take your shots in the draft because you're currently in a multi-year rebuild as it is.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at it. So he signed last year a 4-year extension or a 4-year contract. So you have a lot of time. I don't know, like I would want to hang on to him, but I would want to hang on to him and see how good the team is in the first year under the new head coach, or I would want that new head coach to call the shots and say, let's get rid of him and get something in return because this year is going to be a fucking full-blown rebuild year and I want my guys. I would be deferring to their new head coach is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But if it was me, I would want to keep him and see how good are we going to be under my new head coach, because you have 3 more years with him that you could hypothetically, if this year is like a Liam Cohen like year with the Jags, I would be like, holy fuck, we're stupid to get rid of him because we're right back on the scene. Is that realistic for Arizona? No, but I didn't think it was realistic for Jacksonville. So, all right, Rams extend Kevin Dotson, right guard.
Wholeheartedly agree. Agree.
Yeah, whether Stafford retires or not, you drafted his replacement. You might as well keep that offensive line solid. It's not a fucking sexy goddamn pick because it's a fucking right guard, but it's a fucking important part of the offensive line.
Right.
So,
and as he points out, both their guards are hit free agency after this year.
Yeah.
And I mean, they have 2 good guards.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to find that, like he says, find that one guard, find one good guard, than it is to find two.
All right, the 49ers, clean up the situation with Brandon Ayuk. How do you do that?
Cut him.
It's a rat's nest, and is there something bigger that San Fran should be thinking about?
Just cut him. Just cut the cord, get rid of him, let him go where he wants. You're at this point, you're not going to be able to trade him.
I'm with you. Just cut his ass. I'm with you. You know, like, what are you holding out hope for? The dude is a fucking bad seed, man. You have made your adjustments at wide receiver that life is going to go on without him. All he's doing is talking shit. Just let him go. Because here's the thing. He's not going to come back and play for you. There's nothing that they can do to make him come back and play for them. And he's already dug his hole with probably 90% of the teams in the league where they see him behave this way and they're thinking, I don't fucking want him. And if he's out there, I don't want to give him like a long-term deal. Somebody will. But, you know, just let him go and fucking don't look back. Don't even think about it. Just see you later, you're a piece of shit. We're moving on.
Agree.
All right, Seattle, extend Leonard Williams. This to me is like as close to a no-brainer as Baker Mayfield as it gets.
I don't think it is.
Really?
He's
Why?
32.
Because of his age?
He's 32. The decline's going to hit. Let him have the season, because if you extend him and the decline hits this year, then
I think
you can easily move on. I
guess maybe
if he was a year or two younger, it would be a no-brainer. But at 32, I'm hesitant on it.
All right. I guess I look at him as is like the next kind of like Calais Campbell. But I guess you're right. You're betting on something that's very rare because he could fall off the cliff at any year. Mm-hmm. I see that these sort of like framed and productive defensive ends, you know, like sort of like interior, exterior defensive ends, because he's got versatility. They seem to have staying power. And so because Seattle, the defense is like the bread and butter, it's like I would want to make sure that we're not getting rid of this guy. But
right. No, and I agree there. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. I'm saying it's not as much of a no-brainer as you think. I think there's got to be hesitation there on what you're going to get.
I'm a Leonard Williams fanboy, and I need to chill, is what you're telling me.
Exactly.
I need to be objective. He's old as shit in NFL years. Fair enough. Well, what'd you think about our like-dislike session? A little different, but, you know.
A little different. Something we did different. It worked. I think it worked, though.
Yeah, it was fun. I'd be fine doing these until we get to our, our off-season outlooks or whatever we're going to be doing next. But, you know.
Yeah, but also though, like lists like this are harder and harder to come by as we get closer and closer.
Yeah, that's true.
I wish they released the NFL Top 100
all at once
earlier.
Yeah, it doesn't even necessarily have to be all at once, but don't just the way they slow play it now is just so brutal. And it almost doesn't even matter for me now because I got to wait to see it on NFL.com because of the Xfinity thing, but it's just so slow. Like last year, I didn't even because they made it so slow. It pissed me off that I didn't even want to watch it because I'm like, okay, now you're making it like a dick thing, and so fuck you guys. But you know, it should be a cool, fun thing, and it just they're trying to milk it too hard. My
100%.
one man's opinion. Damn it!
No, I mean we talked about that last year with it.
Yeah.
You just close your what? Your
my dinosaur video. I gotta find it again. It's all right. I'll just go into my history and I'll bring it back up. It's all right.
Oh, you're hilarious.
All right, 7 minutes ago. How about we take it offline, man?
All right, sounds good.
All right, party people, thanks for watching. I know you and your mom and your brother and sister, you're all subscribing and liking and commenting, and we appreciate that. Yeah, right. See you later.
Gridiron Grinder. Hut, hut, hike.